What's going on, everybody? It's your friend Will. We're back again. It's the memory lapse. We got a new one this morning. Kind of a different direction-ish from what we have been playing. Though still, we're still playing kind of removal and counters. But the top end of this deck is quite different from the Jeskai decks because we're splashing black and we're getting things like the Eldest Reborn, Nicol Bolas, and we're playing the full 4 Niv-Mizzet, which is partially being supported by a full 4 Sarkhan. So quite cool to see a control deck here. This is from the 5.0 deck dump that came out on Monday of the 3rd week of October. So no Teferi, not even a Ral. Is that right? Not even a Ral in this deck, or in the sideboard. Though, come on, couldn't you do something like -1 Eldest Reborn, +1 Ral? Like, maybe we should even do that. It feels wrong not to have 1 Ral in here, so let's do that. But yeah, so a really cool deck, and let's see how it plays. Niv-Mizzet has been a card that just seems like it can close the game really quickly when I've played against it. Luckily, when I've played against it, it's mostly been with green-black decks that have a lot of answers to it. But in control mirrors especially, it's kind of like a Nezahal plus. It comes down a little bit faster, and it draws you more cards, I think, on average than Nezahal is going to. Alright, so I think we can keep this. Hopefully these Fiery Cannonades are enough to insulate us against a really fast start. We've got colors here, which is what we care about. We've got our very confident looking Niv-Mizzet. This is probably a control mirror. Right, so if this is a control mirror, that Chemister's Insight's a great draw for us, and it's going to let us cycle through some of the dead cards. Interesting. So they're really cycling through their deck. I wonder if they're playing some kind of combo. Because typically I don't think you'd play this unless you were playing Fog or you were playing creatures. Alright. Let's cycle our Radical Idea. Good draw here. Four, 6, 7. So I think we're just going to hold to Syncopate on their turn in case they have something good. They'll probably jumpstart this. Oh, they got their own Chemister's Insight. So that presents to us the opportunity here to Syncopate, but I don't think I'm going to. Charted Course is also fine. Looks like they're digging for land. Oh, no, they discarded a Watery Grave. Narcomoeba, that's fine. So this is going to let us resolve a Nicol Bolas next turn. I think this is fine. This card seems like it really doesn't do anything, so... But they put it in their deck, which makes me think... Alright, so... Let's play this Chemister's Insight. Oh, this is sick. So, I'm pretty sure we get to go. Sulfur Falls, Sarkhan, plus, and we can make red here. And and then play Nicol Bolas. Get him for a card. Look at that. It's an angry dragon. Oh, they casually discarded Chemister's Insight. Alright, so they're playing a mill deck here. Both trying to mill us and mill themselves. Or maybe they're just trying to mill themselves. And get like Narcomoebas and this Creeping Chill card. I'm not really convinced on this. So now this is kind of rough for them, right? Because we get to only to cast dragon spells, so I can't use it to activate dragon abilities. So we'll get to attack. We're going to get to second main phase Niv-Mizzet, and we'll pay for it in part with Sarkhan. So we'll even have Syncopate for 1-up. Or Radical Idea. Red, blue. Alright, more dragons, let's go. Alright, and they just skip to that. So against their deck... Oh, nope, looks like they don't want to play. Alright, well let's just go on to the next match then. Seems like they were having a hard time doing what they wanted to do there, which was get a bunch of 1/1s into play for free and do a bunch of damage to me for free. Well, as part of milling themselves. And I wonder what the big payoff is, right? Because you can, if you hit all 3 of those deal 3 heal 3s, that's still, or all 4 of them, that's still only 12 damage. Which means you have to get 8 damage off of Narcomoebas. Maybe they also play the Blood Operative. Bring that one back from the graveyard. But I don't know. That seems like a pretty tough. Seems like you're asking a lot to win that way against anyone who's going to do anything against you. Alright, so I think we'll keep this because if we draw 1 land, we just get to Sarkhan into Niv-Mizzet, more likely than not. And we do have Shock and Syncopate to interact. There's an argument to even shock this here, to have Shock, or whatever their turn 1 play might be. Ooh. Come on, hit the battlefield. Uh-oh. Are we lagging here? Are we crashing? Could be crashing. Nope, there we go, just lagging. Nope, so I think we need to get this search resolved. We give up the opportunity to shock their 2-drop, but it makes it far more likely that we're going to find a land next turn. This must be on their side, because my internet appears to be fine. Alright, this is not great. Not sure what I can do about this, though. let's try this. See if fresh rebooting it helps. I wonder if it's possible they just pushed a patch. This is Wednesday when I'm recording this. Alright, we're back in. Just in time for us to get a game loss, probably. Oh, no. So Searcher's gone to hit play. That's what we like to see. I wonder if our opponent reset their client as well. If that was like a server-wide thing where everyone just kind of experienced this slowdown. Cool. Alright, so graveyard for you. I guess we'll discovery. Graveyard. Draw this Dragonskull Summit. So our opponent in whatever that lag thing was ended up missing a land drop last turn, so this game's a little bit spoiled. Or they just naturally don't have it. What is this little stairway thing in this swamp? So we'll take a moment in case you're not familiar with Sarkhan. But both the plus modes on this are super good in this deck. And the fact that it's a 3-mana planeswalker, I think makes it really good against decks like Jeskai, because it's very hard for them to answer this on the turn that you can play it. With the +1 to draw and discard, it's just great for cycling dead cards, like things like Shock, like in this matchup that might not do very much. It's also great when you have a Niv-Mizzet in play to trigger the ability on Niv-Mizzet, so you just get like an extra damage. I mean, that's like very incidental, but the real reason that we're playing Sarkhan is the other +1 mode to add the mana, which you saw in the last game, to spend to cast Dragon, so it lets us accelerate out Niv-Mizzet on potentially turn 4, which is like a turn 4 uncounterable Dragon, which feels like a pretty big game against the Jeskai decks. So yeah, this player is having the same connectivity issues we had. I wonder if it's going to go to sideboard here. No. Alright, let's try one more time. Let's see if we can get a game. So of course the real question is how well does this deck do against the green-black decks of the format? And considering that someone 5-up with it, I'd have to guess that it is at least decent. It's a little hard to, there's a lot of different removal, like 4 Shocks is probably very good against them, to slow them down early. Remove Llanowar Elves. You have 4 Shocks and I think 2 Lightning Strikes in this deck, so a lot of also ability to do small amounts of damage to their planeswalkers and help remove those from the board. But the issue is you're very creature light, and just the board presence in this deck is pretty low, so I think you're really susceptible to Plaguecrafter in decks that run that. They're going to get a ton of value out of their Plaguecrafters, making you sacrifice Sarkhan or Niv-Mizzet. Alright, so very defensive draw, but we can keep this. And just try to use our Chemister's Insight to draw into some dragons. Play it more like a control deck. Lava Coil is probably good against them, the green-black decks, to help just get rid of like the annoying recursion. Like remove a Fine Broker permanently, remove a Chupacabra permanently, so they can't loop it back. Okay, another turn 1 opt deck here. Alright, so I'm guessing this is the Izzet, like, dragons with the drakes and stuff. So Lava Coil is pretty nice against them. We have 2 more on the sideboard. Surprisingly easy with these duels to assemble the triple red, triple blue needed. Alright, so we're going to play Search here. And if they resolve a Drake, we're just going to Lava Coil it on our turn. But Search is just going to be too good helping us find what we need. We could have also held up Ionize and waited one more turn on the Search, but alright, so now we're like totally unpunished. I just feel like they are tapped out. The sooner you get Search into play, just the sooner you start building that overwhelming advantage they can't come back from. Just card selection is so good in these matchups. Really glad this card is still in the format, to be honest. Alright, so let's see if they'll let us resolve this. I'm sure they run some number of Syncopates. Oh, they're just going to Chemister's back. And so now even if they find Syncopate for 1, we can pay for it. They'd have to hit like Negate. Oh, expansion. Alright, that's fair. Totally fair game. So they're going to draw 4 here. It's a really nice reload from them. But if we hit a dragon, like if we see like Niv-Mizzet on top, or a planeswalker, like that one. I think we want to keep all these, so it's a little greedy to discard the land, but I'm gonna do it. So now they're under some pressure, because this does have an ultimate that creates a lot of dragons, a lethal amount of dragons. It's going to help us with mana advantage to help win counterspell wars when we do draw our dragons. So now, yeah, they're in full defense mode. Graveyard to him. Plus discard Cannonade. This also helps us fill our graveyard for search really quickly. So things to look out for now are them running some kind of explosion. Though the rate on this is just like we're still so early in the game that they're not going to catch up to the Sarkhan 2, 3, 4. They're 1 behind. Cool. So let's go for Chemister's Insight. If they copy it, I think we're fine, because that's one less explosion they have to interact with our cards that we care about. If they counter it, that's also fine. Kind of smart by them if they're anticipating us having some number of Niv-Mizzets here, which can't be countered, so maybe that is the best use of their counter spell. We can keep that, and we will transform. Discard Shock. Eldest Reborn's a nice one. But we're just going to play it slow here. We are in complete control of the game with Sarkhan. Slowly ticking up. I don't even really want to use Chemisters inside. I think I'm just going to spin with Search for Azcanta. There goes 2 Niv-Mizzets to the bottom, but an Ionize to the hand. Probably at this point, it's okay to discard Lava Coil, since we have Eldest Reborn. I do just want to keep making land drops to make these Ionizes and Syncopates good. Banefire for 7. That feels like a pretty good result for us. Resolves. So let's flash this back first, or jumpstart this first, and then depending on what we draw, we'll either jumpstart again or we'll fire off the Azcanta. So I think we just want to find a dragon here, and Azcanta can't find us a dragon. So let's fire this off again. We'll discard one of our Eldest Reborns, which is starting to feel unlikely to do much in this matchup. We could fire one into play right now, but I'd much rather get some value out of it. Two, 4, 6, 8. So we have to play something here. Let's get a search down. Have to worry a little bit about their own Niv-Mizzet as well. I'm debating just, yeah, I think I'm going to do this. Fire off a shock. Just for hand size considerations. But I don't think we need to activate the search. What we need to find is any dragon. Alright, so we can fire it off here. So no, it's just shock to make room. Because it does not hurt finding another Ionize or finding Sarkhan. Another threat. Pushing lands that we don't need. Drawing lands we don't need. I expect they'll fight over this in some way. Alright, so they go Ionize here. Probably worth ionizing back once. They're gonna draw. They can use expansion to copy this. Yep. Let's syncopate this for 2. This is probably the best use of our syncopate at this point in the game. This still gives us Ionize or Essence Scatter on their turn. And more importantly, it gives us Sarkhan. So now if we lose a fight over a Drake, hopefully Eldest Reborn gets it. Gets to clean it up. This has been quite the grind as we pushed these dragons to the bottom with our search. Fight with fire. Kicked. Alright, so I don't think we want to take 10 damage. Especially since we know they had at least one Bane Fire. Yeah, let's take this. If they're going to be casting like 10 cost stuff, that actually does something for us. Okay, very cool. How many of our Ionize have we used? 2? So we have 2 more Ionize in there. Our deck is small enough now that we should probably be using this Azcanta as often as possible to move these Niv-Mizzets closer to the top. Cycle through. Because we can get through like 6 cards or 7 cards a turn this way between Sarkhan and Search. Yep, so. Syncopate for 1. Great use of Syncopate. Take this just because we can discard it. Library. Decline. Now, do we have enough to pay? I think we could get it into play with Sarkhan. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, so yeah, let's just use him. Make black red. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll just flip him. Just because it's awesome. And I guess we're just going to plus. Make our land drop. Look at the Dragon Crew in play here. Alright. So that was a long one, but I think we could have won at any point if we drew like a Niv-Mizzet. So, some fairly easy sideboarding here. Don't think we want the shocks. I think we want Negate and Disdainful Stroke. Possibly even Spell Pierce. These Eldest Reborns were not super good, but I can see them being good. Our opponent does have Drakes and stuff in their deck. So maybe we just go like this and keep the Eldest Reborns. We didn't see planeswalkers out of them. I don't think we need Fight with Fire in this matchup. I think this is to catch things like Angels more effectively. This is just a question mark. I'm not sure why this isn't. The original sideboard had 2. Not really sure. Maybe it's for like probably a way to deal with Carnage Tyrant, but I mean we're probably losing to that card anyways. so this looks like a nice one. We have turn 3 Sarkhan. Into turn 4 Nicol Bolas, if we so choose to play it that way. Alright, so let's respect their Ionize here. If they go for a Drake or something, we have Stroke. Oh, Archaeologist. That's a pretty good one. So I wonder if it's better... I guess we can play around Syncopate by playing Sarkhan. And let's discard one of these. Wow. What? They made their land drop. Why are they just I wonder if they misclicked. Like thinking that they were in their attack step. That would make sense. That doesn't seem right. Alright, so we're definitely going to play Nicol Bolas here. And so I think we'll just use mana to do so. Blue, black, red, red. So let's just have Disdainful Stroke and Spell Pierce. Imagine if they go for like a cheeky Banefire for 4, I just get to boop. Spell Pierce it. Fight with fire. We can't Spell Pierce that one. Cool. Alright, so let's discard. I think we're going to discard Discovery. I think it's going to be hard for us to use mana on our turn. We're a little blue short, which is unfortunate. Because now the choice is between... I think I'm going to Spell Pierce this. This gives them an opportunity to resolve like one of their Drakes. If they have Niv-Mizzet, we can't counter it anyways, so these Disdainful Strokes won't do anything there. We're already quite close to flipping this Azcanta. Because they're going to kill Sarkhan, it's going to go to 5 in the graveyard. Alright. So they're not punishing us by playing a dragon, they're just punishing us by drawing 2. I don't think we want this. I think we want a blue source. want to flip Search. Interesting. They're choosing to play Chemister's Insight rather than activate their Archaeologist. I guess that lets them leave up Negate in case I try to kill it in response. And it's more or less the same for their hand. They get 2 new cards. I think this resolves. I think we need to try to Chemister's Insight here and get some more cards. Don't think we can afford to. If we use this, we can't. Oh, they're not even attacking with their Mystic Archaeologist. That's a little strange. So no matter what this is, we get to flip here, which is excellent. I mean, against their board, I don't think this is very useful, actually. Now, Lava Coil is kind of useful. I think I want a Lava Coil. The card draw. They only have enough mana for 1 counter, so we can counter back. Okay. And Steam Vent's tapped. We still have Ionize and Disdainful Stroke mana here. It's gonna be a tight one. I think we can pull ahead now that we've flipped Azcanta. Alright, so in response, so that they can't draw. Niv-Mizzet of our own is more or less the best answer we can find here. So their goal here is to do a flurry of spells to kind of ping it down, but we're going to get to draw and ping back. So hopefully we both just get to draw like crazy here, and the Niv-Mizzet's trade with pings. Alright, this is going to get a little weird. That extra trigger actually sucks for us. Oh, yeah, we're going to lose this exchange. Alright. So what we actually have to do is try to kill the Goblin Electromancer here. then try to negate. We need one more trigger. This is why we're doing this. And we want to set it up so that way... Oh shit, I should have used Disdainful Stroke. Alright. I think it's going to be okay though. Yeah, it's going to be okay. So we get to put one here. And we're going to be able to just use Eldest Reborn to clean up this Niv-Mizzet. We don't have enough triggers to kill their Niv-Mizzet. Alright, so they get to ping us 2 more times. And then what's the worst they can do with 3 mana here? I'm not sure. Really annoyed that I burned a Negate when I should have used Disdainful Stroke to try to counter that Insight. Alright, so they do nothing. One, two, three, four, 5. Yeah, so we're going to shock this. Alright, they get Ionize here. We negate it. They get to draw 2 more. And deal 2 more damage to us. But we get to kill the Niv-Mizzet. Now, more likely than not, they have another Niv-Mizzet here. Right? But I guess it's worth holding up Disdainful Stroke or something in case they try to, like, just fireball us. Oh, Cackling Drake. Alright, let's go for Essence Scatter. Alright, they negate back. This Drake is probably very lethal. 8. I think we have to spin here. Find like Lava Coil. Ooh, Eldest Reborn works. We can't back it up with Ionize, unfortunately. If they have Ionize, we're just dead. Disdainful Stroke. Alright, they got us. I have to imagine they have 2 spells in their hand that they can just use here to kill us, but we'll let them do it since they worked really hard to get there. And then let's hope we can win on the play, game 3. Yeah. It did kind of cost us that extra negate. I think we could have played a little differently if we had that second negate. So seeing what we saw there, I don't know. I'm not too inclined to bring in the shocks. Disdainful Stroke was pretty medium. Maybe it's better to have 2 shocks here. Just as answers to their early stuff. Alright. Very happy with this hand. Yeah, so if they go for like a turn 2 Goblin or something, we just get to... We know they have Negate, so we'll hold back on the Sarkhan. We know they have it in their deck. We don't know for sure they have it in their hand, of course. Search for Azcanta. I don't think we want them to resolve this, but if they fight over it, it means we get to resolve Sarkhan. So, I'm okay with that exchange. I think I'm just plussing and declining. But we do want to plus. Now here I think it might be worth getting rid of like Syncopate. Or even Shock. Probably get rid of Shock at this point. We're setting up the punish here where if they find their 6th land and tap out for Niv-Mizzet, we have Eldest Reborn. They get 0 value. Yeah, I think we have to Essence Scatter this, because we do not have good answers. As tempting as it is to Eldest Reborn that, we don't have good answers to Niv-Mizzet. Negate. So what's going to have better long-term value here? The Syncopate, I guess, scales. We want to find more like interaction. Oh, that's good too. Puts pressure on their hand. It's a 2nd threat, so they can't just point a Banefire here. We're 1 land away from flipping it. We even have Syncopate. Syncopate for 1. Unlikely to be good, but... Alright, they're skipping. We got there on the draw, tapping out, or on the play, just tapping out against them. Alright, so that's it for this morning. Went a little longer than usual because we had trouble finding a decent game. But hopefully you enjoyed seeing this deck. It's pretty cool. Wow, we went way longer than usual. Really cool deck. Really want to play it against black-green and see how it feels. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and we'll be back tomorrow morning with another new deck. And I hope you're enjoying all the series as well. The competitive series, we'll have more of that, of course, dropping in the afternoons. But yeah, that's it. This is the Memory Lapse. Thanks for joining us. Goodbye.